The Champions League, the Champions League. I think this is where it's at, man, even in terms of my happiness with watching Arsenal Football Club. The Champions League this season, every game has pretty much been fun to watch. We've been playing through the middle. I've been seeing good football. I've been seeing enjoyment. I've been seeing our players, playing with a bit more freedom compared to these Premier League games that we're kind of suffering in. And, if anyone knows me and my opinions about Mikel Arteta and all of this, listen, I'm putting that to the side. When it comes to the Champions League, when it comes to the way we're playing in these matches, I've got nothing to complain about. Honestly, this season, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Yes, today there were moments where defensively we might be looking like, Inter could have got at us. They had a few turnovers, they had a few quick movements. Mosquera, Saliba scrambling a little bit. Zubimendi maybe not doing as much as he could have. For especially even the first goal that Inter scored to equalise. Early on. But really and truly, you watch these Champions League games. The first goal, for example, Eze in the middle. Passing it forward. Like, it's not difficult passing it forward, one touch football. You got Lewis Skelly, you got Zubimendi before, obviously he's the one I believe passed it obviously into Eze. You got the likes of Marino, just like little one touch quick football. That's what I've been missing, to be honest. When you watch the Premier League games that we're playing, it's very difficult half the time to watch. And yes, people will say, teams are playing out more of a low block against us, but I just feel like in the Premier League we just don't take as many risks. And I know at this moment in time, obviously we've got 7 points clear in the Premier League. We're top, and we're in a good way in terms of the league. 100%, we're in a good way. I think we're going to end up winning the league 100%. To be honest, because I just don't see Man City really doing much. But they lose. I think it was 3-0 in the end. I'm not even sure to Bodo. So listen, Man City are going to be up and down for the rest of this season. But if you look at the way we're playing, right, in the Champions League, and then you compare it to the Premier League games, there is a massive difference. I know people will say it's the quality maybe of the Champions League, but also I think there's a part of it where we're playing big teams in terms of heritage teams. You're playing the Inters, you're playing Bayern, you're playing Atletico Madrid. You're playing teams who believe, obviously, a lot of the time they're the protagonist in the games. They don't want to play like a Nottingham Forest or a Sunderland, or any of these teams that we do come across in the Premier League rather. In the Champions League, they have to play with a bit more character. They can't just sit back the whole game. I do understand that, and that's maybe why we are seeing better football, more results. Gyokeres even getting a goal kind of more in the transition. He doesn't really get these transition moments in the Premier League. So I 100% understand where people are coming from when they say there is a difference between the two, and maybe that's why Arteta's football is struggling more, even though I know the results are showing that we're top of the league. When you watch the games in the Premier League, a lot of the time it's hard work. It is hard work for us. Every single game is hard work. I know the table will say we're top, it will say we're 7 points clear, but it's difficult. Anyone watching with your own two eyes can see that, right? The way we play in the Premier League is not the same as obviously what we've seen in the Champions League. But yeah, today, just going back to how we played today, just in the Champions League, I'm very happy. As I said, Jesus getting his goals, Gyokeres even getting his goals. There's this debate going on social media as always. Saka doesn't want to pass to Gyokeres. Come on, guys. Can we please be serious? Please be serious. Yes, Saka today, had an opportunity. Maybe could have played it across to Gyokeres. But to say that Saka has bad intentions, so he doesn't want to pass to Gyokeres, like, come on. Just be people, please. Now we're going too far. Let's just please be a little bit more serious. But all in all, I'm happy with the performances of the players in totality. If you look at the likes of Trossard today, I think Trossard today was actually quite impressive. Even in his defensive actions for the team, taking the sting out of the game. Sometimes for us, his assist as well for Jesus. I mean, to be honest, Trossard is one of these players. If you asked me last season, what player should we get rid of? Trossard would have been somewhere on that list for sure. There was games last season where I would say, is the ball a bomb? Like, I'm watching Trossard thinking, is the ball a bomb? And, watching him this season, he's one of our players of the season. Like, that is how consistent and reliable he's been for us. The likes of Saliba, obviously top. All in all, honestly, you can never. Saliba, to be honest, goes. I think I speak about Arsenal a lot with people, and for some reason, I never really mentioned Saliba, even though we know, for me, obviously, he's our best defender. I love Gabriel. I think Gabriel's top quality. But in terms of just everything, I feel like Saliba's our best defender. But I won't speak about Saliba as much as I speak about Gabriel or I even speak about Timber, or speak about even Calafiori when he's playing, or Lewis Skelly sometimes when he's getting a game. Saliba just does his job every single week, and we don't say anything. We don't say anything. It's just expected of him, and I think that goes to show how good he really is. So big credit to him as well. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy with the team. We're top of the Champions League. Actually, if I get it up here, let me just have a look here. Yeah, if we have a look here, obviously 3-1, as we all know. Look at some of the stats for today. 2.12 xg. Obviously here, total shots for Inter were it was quite high. It was a fun game to watch. I said with the Champions League games, things that I don't feel under threat. I think most of us didn't really feel maybe under threat so much in this game. But really and truly, these games are more free flowing in the Champions League. There seems to be more freedom, and obviously, it does result in you conceding more goals, more shots on goal, and that's the element in the Premier League where we don't risk it as much. And I know we'll see later on in the Champions League how we're going to play. Are we going to be a team in the Champions League going forward? Are we going to play more the way we play in the Premier League, or are we going to be playing in a way that maybe is what we've been seeing in the group phase of the Champions League? We'll have to wait and see when the going gets tough, when we've got to play do or die games in the Champions League. Are we going to be able to play with this, relaxed manner, really and truly, this freedom? If you look today at our lineup very quickly again, like the likes of, I don't think you'll see. Would we really see a lineup like this? I know it's kind of mix and match. Like really and truly, a lot of these players, could play. They could play a semi-final of a Champions League. Honestly, a lot of these players, if you look at it, Lewis Skelly, definitely he's already done this. He's already been there and playing at their quarterfinals, semi-finals of the Champions League. He understands what that is all about. Saliba, Timber, Riley is our first choice defenders. Marino is a player that obviously Arteta likes, and to be honest, his performances as of late, to be honest, Marino, I've not said a bad word about him for quite a few games now. So that shows that he's doing pretty well. Zubimendi keeps things ticking. And also he's shown us final third. Zubimendi's got a lot to offer as well. So all in all, to be honest, our squad depth is quite deep. It's quite deep. And Jesus did an interview after the game talking about obviously Gyokeres coming on and scoring, talking about Kai Havertz coming on and scoring. We've got these options. We've got real options in our team, and I think that's just something that is just a credit to obviously our squad building over the years. It's been really good. But what we need to see now, I want to see the good side of this, from the Champions League. Take some lessons from this in terms of, playing more in the middle, more one touch, more free flowing, and then taking that maybe into the Premier League. For me, that would be something I want to see. And yes, defensively, we still have to be solid. We still have to be strong, right? But attacking wise, things that I'm seeing today, sometimes I feel like I just don't see them in the Premier League a lot of the time, even though we're getting results and we're getting wins, yes. But I feel like we're missing out on some of this, like, I don't know, just this freedom, just this enjoyment of football that we see in the Champions League from our players. You think about the games against Bayern, you think about this game today against Inter, you think about the game against Atleti, obviously second half really and truly. You see that enjoyment in the game. And I feel like I'm not seeing that in the Premier League, and that's why I get really frustrated watching our games in the Premier League. But Champions League, I said no problem so far. You look at our bench today, look at all the players coming on: Ben White, Declan Rice, Gabriel, Gyokeres, Martinelli. Martinelli for me, mate, honestly, he does one thing and you're like, what is wrong with this guy? In the next second he's outside of the foot. Beautiful pass into Gyokeres. You're like, what? Sometimes I just genuinely, Martinelli, you confuse me. You actually confuse me. 1 second I'm like, sell him. Next second I'm like, you know what, that was alright. Maybe he's got something about him. Most confusing player I think in our team. But apart from that, man, you look at our other options as well. The likes of Odegaard, Noneri. When that does, I think it might get announced soon. Obviously, him going to Marseille. Might actually do a separate video on that in a second, actually, about Noneri going to Marseille on loan, and then obviously Havertz, Madueke. So we've got such a big squad. This is something that's really helping us as well. But I just want to see that freedom in the Champions League, in the Premier League, a little bit more. And if I can see that more, maybe I'll chill on Arteta, man. Maybe I'll chill on him, because some of the things I'm seeing in the Premier League rattles me to the point where I'm just like, I'm fighting every Arsenal fan that I know, basically, with my opinions. But look at that, guys. 7 games, 7 wins, perfect. top of the Champions League. We've got Kairat Almaty next, so it shouldn't be a difficult game. I'd imagine we get the job done in that game as well. Only 2 goals conceded, 20 goals scored. You know, we've been by far the best team in Europe so far. Obviously, it's just a group phase anyway. We all know that. And yeah, going forward, let's see what happens. I think this year, to be honest, finishing top actually does give you an advantage. I think last year we finished top. I think Liverpool finished top, right, and then straight away they got PSG. And I think, you know, if they even got past PSG, it wouldn't have been a good run for them. It would have still been quite difficult. But I think for us, you get the advantage. I believe every second leg should be at home, something like that. I think they said, you know, so we should get a big advantage if we do obviously cement this top position, which I'd imagine we won't have many issues doing. So we should cement that, and then going forward, you know, let's see what happens. But today, all in all, happy with the game, happy with the performance. Arsenal Football Club, let's just keep it going. Let's keep it going in the Champions League. And I just want to see some of this enjoyment that I see in the Champions League in the Premier League very, very soon. But yeah, guys, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll be back with you guys next time. Peace.